Hey guys, Tom601, and today we got a game on Sleeping Giant in the Worcester. Very excited. Make sure you stick around to the end because this is probably one of the closest endings to a game I've ever had, and I'm just happy I was recording it because it is a nail biter of a game. But anyways, we're going to dive on in. First off, though, let's go ahead and talk about the comment of the video. We have Tom Ralston saying, "What's the code actually for?" Unless I missed it, you said, great video, by the way. And the code is for this Red Bull patch right here. Yeah, we're giving away a code back in our Ice Queen video that's of the Arctic camo on the Edinburgh. Make sure you go ahead and check that video out. But anyways, we started off on the far right side A position for this game, which means we only really have one smart play, and that's to go wide. Going through the center to B just exposes us too much. We are not in that stealthy of a ship, and honestly, the only time I would even try to pull the sneaky maneuver of going through the center and getting in through that inlet of A is if I'm in like a Japanese destroyer that has excellent concealment, and even then you're running a huge risk if you try to go up the center and then cap into A. But we're going to do our job. We're going to try to win our side. We figure their team hasn't been spotted down the center, so that means they're doing the same thing as well. So it's our job, get in here. We are a faster cruiser compared to the other two compatriots that spawned on that flank for us, being two different battleships. So we're going to go in A, try to cap it, and see who we can get fire angles on. The Worcester, of course, being an HE spamming machine with those fantastic firing angles to get over any islands. So that's what we're going to try to do here. We have some fantastic cover provided by an old caldera. Yes, we're going to use some good old geology terms. Caldera being where an old volcano was, the exploded cauldron. That's very clearly what we are sitting in right here. A very large volcano, by the way. Anyways, we're going to use this caldera as some nice cover and concealment and use our superior firing angles to try to hit some ships. Unfortunately for us, though, Iowa and Vladivostok pop up and we don't really have the angle on them. We're going to have to get over to the far side of this caldera so that we can go ahead and try to start supporting our two battleships. Thankfully, though, we do have our teammate out there. Enemy destroyer pops up. We're going to take a couple of pot shots at him. When we can see a destroyer, we want to go ahead and take those shots. They are the deadliest ships out there. They only have one of them. They're the ones that can hide and spot the best. So if we can eliminate him, it's always an advantage to us. Now we're trying to kind of just see, do we have firing angles on any of them? Can we get turned around and to a point where we're able to go ahead and start firing off? The Worcester does have some fantastic guns. Firing range 15.3 kilometers. Reload time 5.3 seconds for her 12 guns. That gives her a fire rate of about 135 rounds per minute. And luckily, she can pretty much shoot either side. 180 time of 8.3, which means anytime you have a ship starting to engage you from a different direction, you're not too far off from being able to dish out the pain on a ship that is on your complete opposite side, which is really useful. And now we have our teammate kind of suicide charging in there. He's in the Conquest, and boom, takes out the Iowa, Citadel's him, and now it's going to be a close range duel between the Conqueror and the Vladivostok. I can't really see their angles too well, but Vladivostok doesn't have that great side armor. So if our teammate is able to get those guns reloaded, aimed correctly, he could have a seriously devastating strike over on the Vlad while we're kind of struggling with our parking angles. Worcester, not the most maneuverable. Max speed is 33 knots. Our teammate gets taken out there, but he does do a hell of a lot of damage to the Vlad, or at least maybe our teammate did that. Also, returning radius on the Worcester, 750 meters with a rudder shift time of 9.2. And just some other stats to keep out in mind. Our detectability by sea is 11.5 kilometers. Detectability by air is 6.9. And detectability in smoke is 6.3. We're finally able to get some damage on that Vlad. He's sailing away, and there's that low part in the island there, so we're able to just start kind of blind firing. We're not knowing where they're landing, but we're just trying to find where we can start getting some shells to hit. We're seeing a good chunk also shatter on the superstructure of the Vlad, so we know we kind of have to start aiming in different ways. And at this point, that side of the map has very much wrapped up. There's not very many targets, so we're going to go ahead and try to move into B. We have A, they have B, and they are currently securing C. So we have an even number of points being generated delta wise. Both of us have 1 point, with 1 point being capped at the moment, not generating any points for either of us. We get that fire on the Vlad. Good for us. Hopefully he decides to burn one of those damage control parties, because like all Russian battleships, he only has a certain number he can play for this entire time, which means he's incredibly vulnerable to fire if we can keep setting him on fire and he ends up burning it. So now we have the play where we are going to move into B, and this is important for two reasons. One, we can try to convert B into our favor and get the points, but while we're in B, we're also making sure that they are not generating any points. Ship-wise right now, we are very far down. In fact, what is that? They've taken 3 of our ships, we've only taken 1 of theirs, so it's now our time to kind of start shining, try to kind of start clawing back this lead, and that's just what we're going to try to do here. We only got 40 seconds left. Vlad currently distracted by the other battleship, by the friendly battleship, so if we can kind of assist him, get some fire burning, kind of start whittling him down, because he has lost a good chunk of his current health, and we can hopefully go ahead and take out the Vlad and clear this side. And if we look at the map now, that means the only ships really left, other than now this Otago, the rest of their team was all on the other side of that middle chain of islands. So if we're able to eliminate the Vlad, we would own 2/3 of the map, and we'd be able to get some flanks off. Of course, this Otago is popping up, so we're going to start taking shots at him. He can be kind of deadly to us. We know if he wants to start kiting, if he wants to start messing with us, he absolutely can. And while he's out there and in the open water, we might as well take some shots, because that might be some of the better shots and opportunities we have on him. Of course, we end up taking B, which is great for us, because now we are going to start making back this lead, and we have to. We're down 4 ships to 7 ships, so it's time for us to start trying to play smartly. And at this point, I'm asking my buddy who I was playing with, I was like, hey, how important is it to win? Because we can either put on our try-hard pants or maybe just walk away, except our team wasn't the best on this one. And at this point, he's like, well, I'm still trying to get the legendary victory, so we are going to start trying to play for keeps. Gruber Konfist, he is very low as far as a battleship goes. He's going to be a threat to us, so if we can go ahead and take him out now, that is going to be what we do, and that is what we're going to concentrate on right now. Just letting those 152mm shells fly, do their thing. Hopefully his German dispersion doesn't hurt us too bad. Incoming shells to us, and thank God only 1 really hits. We didn't take too much damage. We are, though, set on fire. That Otago is back. He's coming at us with a vengeance, or it might also be the Vlad. Vlad healing up, so he is actually back higher health than he was. That was a mistake on our part. We probably should have concentrated on the Vlad, but the Gerber was the one that was the weakest that we could see, and definitely worth taking shots at, because ultimately he gets eliminated. But now go ahead and take a look at that score. We have less than 100 points to go. We are gaining 6 points to every 3 points for each tick. We are starting to eke out a lead, or what will become a lead. So we're going to go ahead and start running, because we are a defensive ship. The Worcester, being an HE high fire angle ship, is a very defensive ship. So we've done our job. We've captured 2 points. It's now time for us just to try to defend those 2 points. And we're just going to start running away and trying to find a place that we can hide and very much play the defensive. Now, something that is interesting that my friend told me, because he was watching the game after he passed, that battleship up north got disconnected. He's not playing. His guns facing north right now. He won't fire a shot for the rest of this game. The only thing he is doing right now is he's being a nice juicy steak towards the enemy players, and he's going to start luring them out. And because of the ship advantage I think that the red team had initially, they're going to start playing a little stupid. So on the other side of the island, we see there's 2 cruisers. We saw a Hipper, and we know the other ship is in Alaska. Alaska, somewhat high health, and then we have a destroyer who is spotting them, who's doing a smart play right now. Just watch this mini-map, because he's going to loop around and start taking C. And I want to congratulate the Hipper captain, because he is playing to win, and he makes a really smart call. Anyway, Alaska, we start coming out and we are getting those firing angles at him. As soon as we pass the island, we are clear to fire, and we are just going to start trying to rip into him, do as much damage as we can, because he right now is most likely distracted by the broadside battleship that has his guns facing the wrong way, that is far north, that he sees as easy prey. And we have a much higher fire rate than that Alaska, and we are at close range, which is going to play into our advantage massively. Alaska, great ship, but it follows the trend of a bunch of the other heavy cruisers for the Americans, where it is a mini battleship and it needs to be played as such, but he just doesn't have the health to be a mini battleship. So in these close range scenarios, we are going to be the ones that go ahead and have the advantage. And you can see we started off with less health than him, and we are tearing into him currently. We have all of our guns to bear. We are slightly worried of being citadeled, but hoping they'll overpen, and we're just trying to turn out and do what we can to protect ourselves. Now, while this Alaska battle is going on, look down at sea. That destroyer is trying to capture sea, but look who has gone around and turned around to try to defeat him. It's that Hipper. That Hipper captain realized what was going on, has some good situational awareness, realizes that if that destroyer caps sea, the game is over for them. And if he doesn't recap it, the game is over. He needs to be the one that takes the initiative and goes ahead and hunts down that destroyer. And props to that Hipper captain, because I don't think every single captain would have seen that, turned around, and gone ahead and tried to suss out that destroyer. That destroyer down there right now, we lose B, but thanks to this destroyer, we actually will end up taking C. And if we look at the score right now, it is 1-1 and then a neutral point because we are taking C, which is incredible. Sadly, though, if we think about it, I have 6,000 hit points. That destroyer being hunted by a cruiser, probably not going to survive. And we have a battleship that isn't playing the game. So now it's going to be time to run away, because we have about a minute left in this game, and it's going to be close. We go ahead. We are now earning 2 points per tick, and we're going to go ahead and pull ahead in the lead. Thankfully, Hipper real close to that destroyer, and we're just going to watch him get blown out of the water. C now being taken back. About 1 minute left on the clock. Capture-wise, A and B are going to equal out. C won't really end up being a factor because of how long it takes to make a capture. They'll get 1 or 2 ticks out of it. So really what it is now going to come down to is who can damage who. This Otago is coming in full steam. So it's going to be me versus a full health Otago, and we're going to have to duke it out. He is coming in a straight line, so our best bet is to go ahead and try to get citadels with these guns. If he's going to continue broadside, we know we have the fire rate to decimate him with citadels. He comes in, we just saw him fire his guns straight off at the battleship that is being played by no one. So it is our time just to rip into him. There we go, 3 citadels, 5 citadels, 6 citadels, 7 citadels. We are taking him down. He is almost down. And see you later, Mr. Otago. He's gone. Destroyed. Look at that score, 680 to 671. Destroyer pops up. We switch to HE because that's going to be more effective. Torpedoes from Otago definitely going to hit us, but we run out of time and win the game in the last seconds. And that, my friends, was a crazy nail biter, and one that I will not forget soon. I hope you liked this video. If you did, go ahead and hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and guys, I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. See ya.